Welcome to episode 2 of the StormCast, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Stormy. Today is Thursday, December 22nd, 2023, and it's a crispy 58 degrees outside. The Stormcast episodes are now available in Spotify and YouTube. Follow me on there, give it a 5-star review. As I am hearing myself. All right, yeah, there was a little echo there. Make sure to go ahead and give it a follow on Spotify and review, help out a lot. Get that going on Spotify, get that jumping. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post. Drop a like and comment below how you're doing. You can share it. It's an easy way to let me know you support the show. Guys, a solo pod going today. See how that goes. And we got some guests also coming, so be on the lookout for that. Also, if you want to be a guest, go ahead and hit me a DM on Instagram, Twitter. Let me know. So, but topics, that's topics. Really, I just want to talk about the injury a little bit. For a lot of people who may not know, I am a 5 incomplete according uh, due to a football injury that happened collision where I went in my head down, going in for a big play, trying to make a play, and had my head at a bad angle and couldn't move anything or feel anything after that collision, and then I had to go to the hospital after that. And I had to find out that I had a spinal cord injury. I had to get put into a medically induced coma for 3 days, after which I awoke to news, um, that I was never going to be able to do life the same. Um, so that's the journey I've been put on. I've had to go to multiple rehabs, and PT and OT facilities. Um, right after the injury, I went to Levine's Children's Hospital up there in Charlotte. Nice area, and then I only stayed for about 30 days and was discharged. Well, it was a little bit longer than 30 days. It may have been 30 to 45 days, but it wasn't very long. Right after the injury, which is most crucial time to get intensive physical therapy. But from there, I left and too much for about a year. Um, except try to get stronger. I went to physical therapy, had a local physical therapist, but it wasn't quite to physical standard that I needed it to be. The intensity wasn't to the point where I was getting enough and enough concussions. So from there, I went to Atlanta, to Shepherd Center, which is so center designed for rehab specifically for injury patients. And I did a little bit of therapy out there, maybe about 30 days until I was then discharged, until I was told to come back after I had enough mobility. Um, yeah, I think they wanted some wrist function, which I still don't have. I've still been working on to this point, and that was about 2018, 2017. So 5, uh, 5, 6 years ago. Um, and then after that, I went to the. Um, After that, I went to a couple different places. Um, Starting off with rehab center out in Florida. I went there. It's called. Um, don't get me wrong. What's the name of that place out there in Florida that I went to, guys? Not too long ago. It's out in Orlando. Um, but I should definitely know the name of talking about them. I don't. I want to give them respectful. Um, so the name is called CORE. It's for Center of Recovery and Exercise. So I did some work out there, and then about 2 3 years later, I went for about 2 weeks again, some more work. And that was the most recent time I went and got intensive physical therapy. Um, so that was 2021. And so I've been trying to find more places to go from there for the yeah. So shout out to Enzia in the chat. She says into the Patreon. The Patreon is in the description below if you want to support. Um, for as far as future rehabs, let me too. I want to be going to some more rehabs like here soon. Specifically Krieger Hospital. I want to have a session there. It's uh, proper transportation. They're actually out in Maryland. So I got some PT scheduled with there. I think you have a visit, a client visit. Coming up. So I think I would go and talk to a doctor and see what type of therapy they provide. But um, God has been good. He's been getting me step by step to the places where I need to go, and keeping me um, pretty much strong enough and motivated enough to continue this fight I've been put on in life. So I take it on the chin as everybody that gets this injury does. Nobody expects it. Obviously, it's unforeseen circumstance. So you just continue to fight and do what you can do to get the proper healing um, and support pretty much. Uh, like stem cells, I've been trying to find another facility that can provide those type of things with that type of procedure. But stem cells are still uh, not really ethically um, being tested. Um, I mean, a lot of people are getting them, but finding the right facility is the issue, and the right doctors, and um, getting that you're getting the right stuff injected in you. I think it was 2018 now, so 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, about this time, where I got stem cells in my flexor carpi, my extensor carpi, in my wrist, and my trapezius brachial plexus got it's in my neck. So uh, um, it says already subscribed, waiting for your content. Appreciate it. Well, if you want to see specific content, you have to be on there and let me know what to see specifically for the Patreon subscribers. But as you see, my hand was burnt this year, earlier this year, and I've been dealing with that as well. Um, I was lifting a weight next to a heater in my bed, the heater, I couldn't detect that it was as it was, and it was maybe about 15 seconds into my lift that I noticed my hand was spasming, and so I thought that was weird. So I took it down, and when I my hands are all blistered up, so I then went through a week or two where I had huge blisters on my fingers, and it was just full of pus. It was very disgusting looking. I added some pictures later. Most of you have seen if you the walls from the hospital. There's a picture on there with the blisters or pops. It's all bloody and disgusting. So I actually ended up going to Augusta, Georgia, um, where they end up doing surgery and putting pins in my fingers. So they did that for to have my fingers straight throughout the healing process after they blistered. They said that they were gonna be there to pick up, or I may have to leave my fingers, a couple of my fingers. So that was the option. And so I stayed at the hospital for about 2 weeks and dealt with that recovery. Um, so after that, I've been trying to find PT and OT to get the right therapy in order to get back to normal, um, like hand function, like I used to have. Like my left one is curled into a functional position, as to where this one is not as functional as it used to be. Um, I've been also talking to Neuralink, California, their patient registry, and they've been trying to interview me. So that was actually something that ended up happening after they've seen some of the videos made on the YouTube channel. Uh, I ended up reaching out my interview. So I'm still actually waiting on the result of that interview. I had to send out medical history, my entire medical records out to them to see what um, they could do specifically with Neuralink for my injury. So we'll see what happens there. So fingers crossed that maybe they have something that I could have done with Neuralink. As of course, it's a new thing being tested. So it's another BCI, uh, Elon Musk, and we need to figure out how ethical this is gonna end up being for most people. I don't know if you're watching and you ever injure yourself, but I think most people are in agreement that they're not going to be the first people to get their brains and their skulls removed in order to get technology put in. So shout out to the people who are willing to do that. But um, I saw something crazy recently that I wanted to share with the world. It's called um, BCI. But this is a computer interface. But this is also um, a device which is put in your head, um, and connects to your spinal cord and sends signals to be able to help you stand. So another implanted device. So I want to go ahead and react to it right now. I don't think this video has any sound. So I'll just read it. A man who was paralyzed in an accident has been able to walk thanks to a device that has reconnected her and Austin. He would never walk again after breaking his neck in 2011. Surgeons installed electrodes in Oscar's brain, which read his brain waves and, and detected neuroactivity when he tried to move his legs. Got some nice little kicks on. So it's connected to his head going down his spinal cord. The readings are beamed to a computer where an algorithm turns them into signals that are then sent to further electrodes in his spine, which activate the muscles to produce the intended movement. It means that movements are initiated by thinking about the actions. The device is known as a digital bridge. It was developed by a team of neuroscientists in Switzerland. Oscar has climbed stairs and walked for more than 100 meters at a time since having the operation. The researchers hope that the future miniaturized devices will help paralyzed patients walk. That was fast. Let me back that up. So basically, guys, another brain computer interface. This one was in 2011, and this guy walked 100 meters upstairs. So that's pretty amazing if you add meters. It's pretty far and upstairs. So this will help people walk, control other bodily functions. So not only walk, but um, a lot of people with injuries have problems using pooping, peeing, things like that. So this man was paralyzed in a cycling accident in 2020 and has been able to stand and walk. Doctors implanted this device, reads his brain waves, and sends instructions to his spine to move the right muscles. Kurt, 40 years old, was told he would never walk again after breaking his neck in a traffic accident in China, but has climbed stairs and walked more than 100 meters since having the operation. A few months ago, I was able for the first time after 10 years to stand up and have a beer with my friends, said Oscar, who that was pretty cool. I once used it in my daily life. The digital bridge is the latest from a team of neuroscientists in Switzerland who have a long-standing program to develop brain-machine computer interfaces to overcome paralysis. Project aims to use wireless signals to reconnect muscles that are rendered useless when spinal nerves are broken. Wow, so this is going to go like on his head and read directly through his spinal. A previous trial also tested a system that created rhythmic steps of walking by sending signals from a computer to his spinal cord. While the device helped him take several steps at once, the movement was quite robotic and had to be triggered by a button or sensor. So it's not very fluid movement that he has, but it's movement nonetheless. The latest update, Professor Jocelyn Block, a neurosurgeon at Lausanne University Hospital, installed electrodes on Austin's brain to detect neural activity when he tries to move his legs. Then readings are processed by an algorithm and turns them into pulses, which are sent to further electrodes in the spine. The pulses activate signals in the spine, switching on muscles to produce intended movement. This device produces swift, smooth strides. Austin said, describe allowed for more natural movements than before because standing up and walking was dictated by control, by thinking about the actions. The signals stimulate muscles needed, like the hip, knee, and your ankle. The device also appears to boost rehabilitation. After more than 40 training sessions with the implant, Austin, who did not sever all the nerves in his spine, regained some control over his legs even when the device was turned off. Our team believes that the reconnecting brain and spine helps to regenerate spinal nerves, recovering some of the patient's lost control. So just the motion of his leg and his spine and his hips, his knees moving in a motion that's similar to walking creates neuroplasticity, which even if he's not doing it directly, is going to help him regain those spinal nerves, will help him regain the ability to walk again. While the work is at an early stage, researchers hope that the future device help stroke patients and paralyzed people to walk. Arms and hands and other functions such as bladder, which is often affected by spinal cord injuries. Arm and movements may be more difficult as they are more complex. With Austin showing progress more than a decade after his accident, the team is confident that the other patients with more recent injuries fared awesome. It's more than 10 years after his spinal cord injury success. Imagine when will we apply the digital bridge a few weeks after the spinal cord injury, the potential for recovery. So the sooner you get rehab after spinal cord injury or any type of injury, stroke, um, the better. It'll just basically help you regain neuroplasticity, and those signals will better be able to heal. So, guys, super important to get in rehab directly after your injury. So that's unbelievable. Something else unbelievable I saw today, but this is needed. Um, it's about wheelchair users being able to take their plane onto the airports, which should have happened a long time ago. But I mean, in this video, you see that they're just taking the seat out and putting the wheelchair in. And I mean, the design is super simple. Um, if you've ever flown on an airplane as a wheelchair user, you know that it's not a comfortable experience. From Hamburg, Germany, CNN, no airplane seat allows wheelchair users to stay in their own chair throughout a flight revealed this week by a subsidiary of U.S. airline Delta, a move welcomed as a huge step by potential customers. Unbelievably is how our wheelchair user and avid traveler Corley described his reaction after working a prototype of the design demonstrated by Delta Flight Airlines and aircraft interior in Hamburg, Germany, a symposium spotlighting airline cabin innovations. If these concepts seamlessly converts to and from a traditional airplane seat, the built-in seat folds to allow a wheelchair to be docked into place. The seat would be installed into pre-existing aircraft seat track system, so would not involve any structural change to the airplane. When the seats, air, and wheelchair, well, scroll down too far here. I do it live. The flyers are still able to use a tray table. The center console that houses the tray table rises to the appropriate when the seat conversion takes place. Rick Sinatra, DFP president, oh, gotta love that ad. Shout out to Mercedes-Benz, not sponsored, for jumping in front of me here. DF Rick Laundry, DFP president, told CNN Traveler X that the goal is to make conversions seamless. Though still only a prototype, the design is already generating significant buzz among wheelchair users who could be among potential customers. It's hoped that the concept can commercial use within 18 months if it passes testing and is adopted by airlines. For decades, people with disabilities have been fighting for more accessible air travel. This feels like a huge step for a giant role toward real inclusivity, Lee told CNN. Travel. He's visited 43 countries and counting, documenting his adventures on the block. Airlines can't typically accommodate Howard declares he has to use non-electric airport-owned ones, which he can't control himself. As he said, to a scary loss of independence. Yeah. So God is at least trying to do something about this terrible problem that wheelchair users have of travel long distances. So shout out to Delta on that for sure. I will be supporting Delta if I ever have to take a flight. Going on chat. What's going on, guys? Um, Miracle of nerve surgery from the Gazette. Miracle of nerve transfer surgery. Stating the new beginning. Um, so this is having to do. This was March 2nd, 2023. This is having to do with nerve transfer surgery. It's another thing risky because they're still in the early stages of surgery on that. So let's see down here.
Yeah, the 15th of December 2021, I had a very sad fall, a bad fall,
We know how this.
and I broke my neck. My spinal cord was completely cut. The very first cervical is glued to the cranium. So uh, usually you have like brain damage, but I was lucky from the start because one, I'm alive, two, I got all my abilities so I can continue working and enjoy life. And I have a brand new life ahead. In July 28th of 2022, I had a huge operation at the Maisonneuve-Rosemont Hospital in Montreal. I had um, nerves and tendon transfer in my two arms. I am C6 cervical quadriplegic, and now I can use my hands in a
And
practical
boy,
way. In my left arms, they they took nerves that were in my arm and put it where the dead ones were, and so now I can open and close my hand. My both hand couldn't open and close; they were stuck like that. So I was only able to take things with my two hands. I had to use tools that were made for me. And now I can write with a pencil. I can continue my profession as a writer, and I can cook. The best is yet to come. It's 2 years to have the ends that I want to have. So they think that in 1 year and a half, I will be able to use my hands in a completely new way. The left hands will be for the strength, and the right hand will be for the little manipulation and take small object. It's a completely a new gain of life for me. It's a miracle, a medical miracle.
that's a miracle. Wow. Well, this story includes details. Okay, so on December 15th, 2021, Carrier barely survived a 70-meter fall from a bridge. She sustained multiple life-threatening injuries, including a broken neck, caused paralysis from the chest down. The 28 years old Carrere was Carrere was facing the prospect of life as essentially a quadriplegic, around the clock help from caregivers to attend therapies he needs. So, guys, this 27-year-old fell from a bridge and became quadriplegic, but she seems independent because she had this nerve transfer surgery. Well, last summer, two plastic surgeons at Montreal's Masonier Rosemont Hospital, Dominique Bogason, performed a 10-hour nerve transfer operation with the goal of restoring function to Carrere hands. 10-hour surgery. Doc- Two doctors. You gotta love these ads that keep popping up. Two doctors belong on a nerve transfer clinic. Partnership between health professionals at the Masonier Rosemont Hospital and the Ingress Lindsay Rehabilitation Institute in Hotel de Newgate. Carrere operation was the 10th nerve transfer operation this team had performed for quadriplegics. The first was in January of 2020 and have now done 14 operations total. But because it can take several years for nerve regrowth and intense rehab before the full results of the nerve transfer are realized, doctors have hesitated to speak publicly about their success until now. Starting as it did just 6 months before the global COVID-19 pandemic, the nerve transplant clinic is an example of how healthcare professionals are managing to perform miracles in the healthcare system, often described as strange and broken. Even in hospitals like Mason and yet Rosemont, this is critical staff shortages. With its critical staff shortages, we need some positive stories. Dr. Tremblay told the Montreal Gazette, "It's been a difficult few years that really hits us. It's almost making me cry. This has been a positive project even amidst the whole COVID-19 pandemic. In nerve transfer surgery, doctors take a healthy, functioning nerve, which is considered redundant because nerves perform the same and reroute it to connect to a nearby non-functioning nerve in the same patient. This allows nerve fibers or axons to grow from the donor nerve to the recipient nerve. In patients with a spinal cord injury, nerves that branch off from the spinal cord are above the level of the injury serve as donor nerves and can be connected to recipient nerves no longer function because their spinal cord connections are below the level of injury. Regrowth progress is slow. Nerves regenerate at a pace of about 1 millimeter. Recovery requires hard work, not only on the part of the patient, also by a team of specialized rehab therapists. But eventually, the nerve regains its ability to carry movement signals to a muscle or sensation signals to skin. So, it's a nerve from a site in your body that is considered dormant and non-usable and move it to a site which pretty much regrows nerves and allows you to send signals to muscles and get sensation back. So that's pretty amazing. I actually went to Philadelphia in 2019 to see a doctor about this exact surgery, and I was skeptical because I didn't know how much function I would gain um, after that, consultation. So I continued to go about rehab without getting the surgery, but some people do go along with the process, and apparently it improves positive. It's always a risk in every surgery, of course, though. While nerve transfer surgery for quadriplegics is not new, it was pioneered in Missouri in 2010 by Canadian Susan McCannon. Yeah, so, I don't don't know if you're interested in nerve transfer surgery, but you would definitely need to be willing to put in the work to get your rehab after. It's not one of those surgeries where you just get it and expect your body to recover normally. You would have to put in a lot of rehab and a lot of time trying to function in the area where the surgery took place. And there's also spinal cord stimulation on its peak. And it's putting people with paralysis on their feet again, apparently. So let's watch this video right here. A paralyzed man walks in thanks to new spinal cord study.
Lunch?
Yes, please.
That'll be $23.
Your ad says it's free.
It is for our economy ultimate passengers who paid extra.
I'll just have water.
Okay, cash or card?
For water?
Well, at
Look at
AT&T,
this
when we
ad.
offer you our best iPhone deals, we guarantee it. Even on the
Oh.
new iPhone 15 Pro. Check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies
Full
with the
25-minute
purchase of
ad.
headphones.
Also,
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives
There
everyone our
you
best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
No one ever thought Michael Rocati would be able to do this or this. In 2017, Rocati was paralyzed after a motorcycle accident.
I tried to move the legs, tried to change my position. I see that was impossible to do nothing. I fixed in my mind that was just a situation. So I put all my mind, my behavior to try to solve this problem. And I never stopped.
Now he can walk about a mile without assistance thanks to this device. It sends electrical impulses to his spine. He can control it through his computer. Scientists have been researching electrical stimulation as a treatment for paralysis for 3 decades. In 2014,
another
I visited the
BCI,
University of Louisville, where I saw patients using
but this
similar
is electrical
technology.
stimulator.
They were able to wiggle their toes and
Direct
move their knees.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And even stand up. And with months of assistance in rehab, some of them even began walking. The newest stimulator, this one from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, can reach more of the spinal cord and allow people to regain movement on the same day that they receive the spinal implant.
This technology is so precise that immediately after the surgery, the patient can walk and stand.
Within a week, 3 patients, men between the ages of 29 and 41, including Michelle, were able to walk like this. Their cases detailed in a study published Monday in the journal Nature Medicine. With hours and hours of rehabilitation for 5 months, the patients were walking, riding bikes, and even boxing. The research is still early. They've tried it out on only 3 patients. They plan to test it out on 50 to 100 more to make sure it's safe and to see if it works better in some people than in others. They hope that if the device performs well in these tests, that it will be widely used in the next 3 to 4 years. But these initial steps are still monumental.
Walking is super important. Just stand up can solve a lot of kind of problems in the normal life. Just to do a simple shower with a crutches, I can stand up and do a shower. With the walker, I'm free. I
And
can walk wherever I want. In this moment,
Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, reporting.
you can see his gait obviously is a little bit you know, off. He's not walking normally as someone who doesn't have um, the injury, but or a disease, or a spinal cord injury, whatever you want to call it. So Michael Raccani lost his ability Riccati. Michael Riccati lost the ability to walk after a motorcycle accident in 2017 when he had a complete spinal cord injury. But today, equipped with an electrode device implanted on his spinal cord, Riccati can do simple things: standing at a bar for drinks with friends, taking a shower without a chair, and even showing the sound with a wall curtain. I am free, said Riccati, who was Italy. I can never, I can walk whenever I want to. Just adding words. Riccati was one of 3 men between the ages of 29 and 41 to participate in the STIMO clinical trial led by Dr. Jocelyn Lucene University Hospital, Greg War, team of the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. The results of the study were published Monday in the journal Nature Medicine. So this guy has spinal cord injury, but he equips a electrode device on the spinal cord and had complete independence, it appears. The participants of the study had 16 electrode devices implanted in the epidural space, an area between the vertebrae and the spinal cord membrane. The electrodes receive currents from a pacemaker implanted in the abdomen. All the patients in the trial had a complete loss of voluntary movement below their injuries. Two also had a complete loss of sensation, but with the devices in place, researchers could use a tablet to initiate sequences of electrical pulses sent to the epidural electrodes via the pacemaker to activate participant muscles. Other studies have anecdotally seen movements after surgery to implant similar devices. This is the first study to report that all participants independently could take steps on a treadmill just a day after surgery. Say. So this is incredibly exciting because this is just pacemaker basically, and these guys are getting results very quickly after surgery. It's a very emotional moment because patients realize they can snap blocks. Researchers have been looking at electrical stimulation of the spinal cord for 3 decades. The study redesigned technology originally used to alleviate pain to target spinal nerve roots. Previous studies out of the University of Louisville have shown that people were completely paralyzed but still had sensation to walk again with several months of rehab for electrical stimulation to the spinal cord. The STIMO trial found that within a week of their surgeries, all 3 participants could walk independently with use of body weight support, parallel bars, and overhead harness. So people who are even completely severed spinal cord are walking again within several months of rehab with this device. Very exciting news. For the first time, we have not only immediate effects of training, though training is still important. But also, individuals with no sensation, no movement whatsoever, have been able to regain full training independently of the laboratory. Dr. Nandan Lad, a neurosurgeon at Duke University, said that this is very exciting. It gives a new treatment option for tens of thousands of patients that have spinal cord injuries and don't really have other options. Lad is leading a clinical trial in this area of research in the US and was not involved in the study. The Swiss team has been able to observe immediate important changes in the structure and implementation of the electrode. The electrode array used in the STIMO trial made by Onward Medical is wider and longer than the array most commonly used in similar studies. According to Block, this new electrode array allows access to a broader area of the spinal cord to stimulate both trunk and leg muscles. Investigators developed an algorithm to optimally place the electrode array, running tests during the surgery to measure muscle activity after delivering pulses. The precise neurosurgical placement of the electrodes is the study's ability to stimulate the necessary muscle groups so quickly. The STIMO trial also introduces a new method for initiating and sustaining movement. To begin stimulation, previous studies have relied on participants' intent to move and the brain signals that follow. In this study, a time sequence stimulation generated using motor responses to different jolts of electricity. These pre-established sequences trigger movement and attempt to mimic the natural pattern of muscle activation. So this is basically jolting your body in a specific movement that's related to walking, and I guess you just use your brain to basically connect with the electricity and form a movement that mimics walking and is natural to walking. But as you saw, he still was a little bit wonky in his walk, but I'm sure with training, patients can build a greater endurance and do a wider range of activities. After the surgery, the study participants received 1 or 2 hours of physical therapy 4 times a week. With 3 or 4 months of consistent training, one participant could stay for 2 hours at a time. Another could walk 500 meters independently. Participant even climbed stairs. Tablet used in the study comes equipped with specific programs coded for certain types of activity, included standing, walking, and swimming. So they're connected to a computer being controlled with technology to walk, which is actually nuts to think about. The future of being able to rehab can be controlled with technology. So the future of spinal cord stimulation is looking promising for anyone that obviously has one. But I mean, the science being moved forward for everybody because it doesn't matter if you actually have an injury or not. It'll be good for the future of medical research, and it'll just be better for everyone that has healthcare in the West. Or we're behind in a lot of ways because we prioritize certain things over other things here, where in the East, their medicine prioritizes natural remedies a lot of times before medicine. So, how can psychedelics and cannabis help improve neuroplasticity? This is April 27th, 2022. Learning and memory are two of the best characterized and most studied examples of neuroplasticity or neuroplasticity. But there are actually many stimuli that can activate the neuroplastic processes, including one's environment, social aspects, behavior, significantly biological stimuli, medicinal substances. Considering this, researcher Ronald Dumel explains that neuroplasticity is perhaps one of the most essential and important processes that the brain performs as it relates to many types of central nervous system functions. So, what exactly is neuroplasticity and how can cannabis and or psychedelics help? Let's find out. So, we already discussed neuroplasticity. So, basically, the brain's ability to modify, change, and adapt both structurally and functionally throughout life and in response to experience. Dr. Celeste Campbell explains that our brains reorganize in response to our changing needs from the time we are in the utero process so that we die. It is the ability to reorganize that allows us to learn from and adapt our experiences. Positive psychology's Courtney Ackerman further explains neuroplasticity pathways being created and discarded as a result of experiences. For example, when we learn something new, we create new connections between our neurons. All of our experiences are unique considering our perspectives and what we go through, which is why a study conducted by Patrice Vass states that mechanisms of neuroplasticity show significant variation across individuals. The importance of neuroplasticity. Beyond being able to adapt to experiences, neuroplasticity can be used to improve one's well-being. According to Accelerate Learning Community, a university Utah initiative, neuroscientists used to believe that the brain stopped developing in adolescence, which would mean that damage done during adulthood would be permanent. 20th century research suggests otherwise. The malleability that comes with neuroplasticity is what makes it possible for the brain to recover and adapt even in adulthood. Since our experiences dictate how neuroplasticity functions in our brains, they can have positive or negative impacts on our brains. The more the brain is exercised, the stronger and more connected it becomes. It's positive adaptation. An example of something one can use to induce positive plastic changes is learning another language. Improved neuroplasticity is important for reducing the risk of many illnesses and conditions associated with aging. How does neuroplasticity work? The University of Utah initiative explains that neuroplasticity change occurs at the chemical, structural, and functional levels in our brain, and that these changes work in correct concert with one another. That being said, let's take a look at the changes in each of those domains as set forth by Accelerator. So we get chemical, structural, and functional neuroplastic changes, all being done in your brain. So let's see what cannabis does to neuroplasticity. Everybody, is either one way cannabis, it's all good. It's not so bad every now and then. And then you have people that, are completely against it, can't do it, can't stand it. So let's see what it does scientifically for you, and if it has positive or negative effects on your brain. Simply put, cannabis can be used to boost neuroplasticity. Hmm. According to the Chicago Tribune, cannabis can be especially beneficial in terms of neuroplasticity roles in recovery. Researchers have found that cannabis can act as a protecting the brain from damage. In one particular study, a single low dose of THC did this for 7 weeks after cannabis administration. Additionally, those who consume broad or full spectrum cannabis found to be less likely to die from traumatic brain injury, as well as be able to stimulate protein enzymes in areas of the brain associated with memory, personality, attention, and balance, etc. Which is interesting because usually you associate weed, marijuana, cannabis with slowing down your brain or making you able to get things, and definitely changing your personality. Most people do that when you smoke, you're usually a different person. And attention, a lot of times when you're high, focusing on one thing can be a lot different than when you're not. And then balance, I mean, you know, it all depends on who you are on that. But a lot of people don't like to do anything when they're stoned. Cannabis can also be used to preserve neuroplasticity, as has been shown to reduce plaque-forming protein, reduce inflammation, and prevent neural cell death. Since neuroplasticity is important for adapting to experiences, including trauma, having high-functioning neuroplastic properties allows one to recover from negative experiences better. This cannabis can be help the brain to overcome the trauma, negate the trauma and injury. Cannabis has been found to not only protect the brain as it heals, not only protect, but also heal the brain from effects of aging, which includes reduced neuroplasticity, while improving long-lasting improvement in cognitive performances. So that's what weed cannabis does for you at the uh, the scientific cognitive level. But let's see what psychedelics um, can do for your brain. As a avid mushroom activist myself, I consider myself a, psychedelic explorer. So this is going to be very interesting. Let's see. A study conducted by Cato de Vos explains that psychedelics can induce cognitive antidepressants, anxiolytic, which reduces anxiety, and anti-addictive effects, suggested to arise from biological changes similar to conventional antidepressants. The researchers explained that the ability of psychedelics to make the similar changes to make similar changes to conventional treatment is due to their ability to induce neuroplasticity. Much like cannabis, psychedelics can be used to promote the structural and functional neuroplasticity in our brains. A study conducted by Calvin Lee explains that psychedelics can be beneficial to consumers by improving mood and brain function, which persist long after the acute effects of the drugs have prescribed. Psychedelics have been said to rebuild broken brains. Roland Griffiths, a psychiatrist and neuroscientist at Johns Hopkins, explains. These psychedelics seem to unlock the brain's ability to remote itself, which is literally what neuroplasticity does. Our understanding of exactly how cannabis and psychedelics can boost neuroplasticity is still limited. Much of what we know is based on their effects on the likes of trauma, illness like Alzheimer's, as well as general benefits such as anti-inflammation, serotonin levels, so happy chemicals. What we do know is that cannabis and psychedelics are both considered more effective alternatives to pharmaceuticals for many conditions that can be reduced neuroplastic functioning. Until more certain research and clinical trials are conducted, people looking to improve their lives by boosting their neuroplasticity should consider cannabis, especially since low doses appear to be effective. A high to reap cannabis real benefits. Not quite sure if cannabis is right for your wellness needs. Speak to a licensed medical cannabis doctor to find out. So they're saying not all research is known for psychedelics as far as improving neuroplasticity, but in low doses, cannabis seems to provide increase positive neuroplastic changes in your brain. Um, so I would suggest talking to someone before obviously doing either of these things. But if you're interested in neuroplastic changes in a positive healing way for your brain, um, into either of these substances for yourself and do it responsibly. And with that being said, there'll be more consistent content on the way, um, more podcasts, more streams, more guests on the way, and more vlogs also dropping soon on the YouTube channel. If you want to get on a cast episode in the future, go ahead and send me DM either on Twitter or Instagram, and follow the Facebook page. Updated every time I post something. I'll be posting behind the scenes first on the Facebook page, so that's a good way to stay with the channel. Also, StormCast episodes are now available on Spotify, so go ahead and follow the StormCast podcast on Spotify. Give me a 5-star review, which will help me significantly grow the channel and the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified every time I post. Drop a like and comment below topics that you want me to react to, and yeah, those are all easy ways, guys. Um, Basically support the channel in a free way. So, that being said, in the description there is a link that has my CashApp and also a link that has my Patreon. So go down in the description box down below if you want to support the channel in that way. And all other social media will also be down in the description: the Facebook, a group, the Snapchat, my TikTok, Twitter, and that's it. Hope you guys have a amazing rest of your day, night, and wherever you're listening from this, stay blessed, stay beautiful. I love you so much, and I will see you next time.